Your meetings are disappearing. Your projects are going to someone junior. Your manager is suddenly very busy when you ask about growth. You're not imagining it. You're being quiet fired, and they're counting on you doing one of two things: quitting quietly or working harder to win them back. Both are exactly what they want. Because here's what nobody tells you. The moment a company starts quiet firing you, the power actually shifts to you. They've stopped pretending, which means you can stop performing. There are 7 moves that turn this from something being done to you into something you run on your own terms. And the first move is the opposite of what your instinct is screaming at you to do right now. Most people get this one wrong in the first week, and it costs them the entire negotiation they don't even know they're in. Let's start there. Move 1. Stop trying to earn it back. I know exactly what your gut is telling you. If I just deliver something undeniable, stay late, take the ugly project, become impossible to ignore, they'll remember what I'm worth. That instinct is decent, human, and precisely wrong. Because the decision has already been made. Somewhere, in a conversation you weren't invited to, your name moved from one column to another. Your effort was the variable before that conversation. It isn't anymore. Under videos exactly like this one, there's a line more than 2,500 people have stopped to agree with because they've lived it. Hard work gets you rewarded with more work. When you're being quiet fired, it goes one shade darker. Hard work gets you rewarded with more work from people who've already decided you're leaving. Every extra hour you give them now is a donation. So do the job, meet the bar, and stop giving away the discretionary extra, the weekend polish, the volunteering, the above and beyond. That's not quitting quietly. That's refusing to subsidize your own exit. And the energy you just freed up isn't going to sit idle, because the second move decides who wins an argument that hasn't even happened yet. Move 2. Start the quiet documentation log. The same day something changes, write it down. The date, what was removed, who told you, the exact words they used. Then, where it fits, confirm it in email, calm and boring. Thanks for the update. Just confirming the client account is moving to Sarah, and my focus shifts to internal reporting. Let me know if I've got that right. No edge, no accusation. Just a timestamp. Here's why it matters. 3 months from now, if this ends badly, someone will say your performance slipped. Your log will show your responsibilities were removed before any performance conversation ever happened. That order of events is everything, and memory alone won't hold it. The log does one more thing. It shows you the pattern faster than your gut will. When you're staring at 6 entries in 5 weeks, you stop wondering whether you're paranoid. Now, the next move is the one that makes managers visibly uncomfortable, because it removes the single thing quiet firing depends on: your silence about it. Move 3. Name it. Calmly. In writing. Quiet firing only works because it's deniable. Nothing is ever said, so nothing can ever be answered. The whole strategy lives in the gap between what's happening and what's on record. So close the gap. Send the email. I noticed the Q3 project moved to Daniel. I want to make sure I'm prioritizing the right things. What should I be focused on this quarter? Notice the language. Risk language, not accusation language. You're not asking, why am I being pushed out? You're asking a question so reasonable it cannot be refused, and it forces one of 3 responses: a real answer, which is useful, a vague dodge, which is data, or silence, which is more data, now sitting in writing. Precise beats emotional every single time here. You're not confronting anyone. You're just moving their strategy from silent to on record. And watch how uncomfortable that makes a person whose entire plan was never having to answer a question. Move 4. Redirect your surplus effort outward. All the energy you were about to spend winning them back has a better home. Update the resume this week. Reactivate the network. Take the recruiter calls you've been deleting. And drop the guilt before it forms. Because this is not betrayal. They opened this negotiation the day your first meeting disappeared. You're just finally showing up to it. If the loyalty reflex is still arguing with you, consider the sentence that keeps rising to the top of every thread on this topic, because too many people learned it the expensive way. The best raise is a new job. Never forget that, and never be loyal. Loyalty to a company that's quietly dismantling your role isn't loyalty. It's unpaid rent on a room they've already listed. Now, fair warning. Before we get to the last 3 moves, you need to see what happens if you do none of this, because quiet firing has a second act, and it's uglier than the first. If you stay passive long enough, the paper trail flips direction. Suddenly, they're documenting you. The vague feedback becomes written concerns. The projects they took away become your reduced output. The performance plan arrives, built on a decline they engineered. That's where doing nothing leads, which is exactly why the last 3 moves exist. Because moves 5, 6, and 7 are about extracting maximum value on your way through. And this is the money and leverage most people leave on the table without ever knowing it was there. Move 5. Control the timeline. Their plan has a schedule. Make things uncomfortable enough, slowly enough, that you resign at the moment of their choosing, quietly and blaming yourself. Flip it. You leave when the next thing is signed, not when the discomfort peaks. Every week you stay is a fully funded job search, salary, benefits, and the enormous advantage of interviewing while employed. The dramatic resignation feels like power for about a day. Then it's just you, unpaid, negotiating from need. Don't hand them the ending they wrote. Move 6. Control the narrative. There are 2 stories running now, and you need to manage both. Inside the company, stay visibly, immaculately professional. Keep sending the recap emails. Keep your wins in writing. If a quiet story is being told about you in rooms you're not in, make sure the official record contradicts it at every point. You can't stop the whispers. You can make them impossible to prove. Outside, your interview story is growth, not grievance. I've taken this role as far as it can go, and I'm looking for the next challenge. Never bitterness. The narrative you carry out of that building will follow you far longer than the one they built inside it. Move 7. Control the exit terms. Here's the part they are genuinely counting on you never figuring out. Your resignation is free for them. If you quit, there's no severance conversation, no negotiated notice, no agreed reference. The file just closes at 0 cost. That is the entire economic logic of quiet firing. It's why the meetings disappear instead of a decision being announced. So before you ever resign, when your log is deep, and ideally when an offer is in hand, you ask the question they hoped would never occur to you. It seems like the company is moving in a different direction with my role. I'm open to discussing what a transition could look like. That's it. Calm, professional, and terrifying to the right people. Because you've just told them you can see the whole board. Some companies will pay real money to make a departure clean and quiet, especially when someone holds a well-documented record of responsibilities being stripped away. Not all of them will, but you will never find out if you resign first. And resigning first is the outcome they've been engineering for months. And understand what that means about everything you've felt lately. The entire point of quiet firing is that you were never supposed to know you were in a negotiation. Every disappeared meeting was a move in it. Every vague answer was a move in it. Making you feel small wasn't a side effect. It was the strategy. A person who feels small doesn't ask what their exit is worth. They just go. If you're watching this and you're not sure yet, if it's still a feeling more than a pattern, there's a video on this channel walking through the 7 signs, and you should watch that one first. But if you're sure, go back to that first meeting that vanished off your calendar, the one you told yourself was probably nothing. You thought the threat was losing your job. It never was. Quiet firing was never designed to get rid of you. It was designed to get rid of you for free. Cheap, silent, and blaming yourself on the way out. These 7 moves don't stop them from ending it. They make sure that when it ends on your timeline, on your record, and quite possibly on their money, because the only real power they ever had was you not noticing. If this happened to you, the shrinking meetings, the vanishing projects, the manager who went vague, tell me in the comments how yours ended. And subscribe, because the next quiet decision about your career has probably already been made in a room you weren't invited to.